Hello and welcome to Code Interactive YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create your own real estate website using ADO, our real estate and realtors theme. So let's get started. I have already installed WordPress and the theme, so what I need to do now is import the content. To do that, I'm going to head to Select Options and click on Import. Now here you get to choose the demo content you want to import, in this case ADO demo, and also to choose the import type. I'm going to select all, which means that everything including content, widgets, and options will be imported. I'm also going to click on Yes to import all media files. Click on Import and hold on for a minute or two. Okay, the import is completed, so I'm going to click on Dashboard just to show you around. The dashboard is basically the control panel for your entire website. Everything you want to set, you're going to set right here. Right now, what I want to do is I want to look at my home page. To do that, I'm going to click on Pages, All Pages, and type Main Home. Here it is. Okay, so this is the back end of my main homepage. This is what it looks like. As you can see, we have the WP Bakery page builder here, which I'm going to minimize for now. And here we have various page options, which we're going to go back a little later. But for now, I want to see the front end of my page or my actual page and see if everything imported well. Here it is. Okay, everything is just like in the demo for now. Okay, except for this. The list of featured items does not appear to be the same as the one in the demo. As you can see, the images on the demo are longer. They're in portrait view, whereas our images are not of those proportions. And here's why that happens. Import is set to display all property types in the list, but not all property types have featured images in portrait view. Apartment singles have this proportion, so we're going to set this shortcode to display only the apartment type for now. I'm going to head back to the backend, and I'm going to open the WP Bakery page builder because I'm looking for a specific shortcode that displays this list of properties. Here is the shortcode. It's called Select Property List. To change or edit anything within a shortcode, we are always going to click on this little pencil here. And here in Select Property List Settings, I'm going to scroll down to where it says Property Type. Right now the field is blank, which is why it displays all property types. I want it to display only the apartments because they have the featured images in portrait view. I'm going to save changes and click on Update. I'm going to go and check my page now, refresh. And yes, my images are displayed properly now. Okay, moving on. The first thing that I want to talk about in this video is the header. The header is the uppermost part of your page. As you can see, this header here includes the logo. It has some text next to the logo. It has the menu. It has the shopping cart, a button for adding listings, and the login button. So I'm just going to change a couple of things here. First of all, I'm going to change the logo. To do that, I'm going to head over to Select Options and click on Logo. Okay, as you can see here, we have the option of hiding the logo altogether, which is ideal in case you don't have one or don't want to display one. We, of course, want to display our logo, and here you can upload a number of different logo images for different purposes. There is the default logo. There is the dark and light version of the logo, which can be combined with the light header skin and dark header skin. There is also a separate logo image for the sticky header and a logo image for the mobile. Right now, I'm only going to upload the default logo image, but I highly recommend that you upload all of these different versions. Clicking on Upload opens the media library, which currently only includes the material that came with my demo. I want to upload an image from my computer, so I'm going to click on Upload Files and then on Select Files. Okay, here is my logo. Click on Select Image and save your changes. Let's go back to our page to see if everything applied correctly. And yes, sure enough, I have a new logo on my page. Now I'm going to go back to the logo options. Here you have the show logo text option, which you can turn off if you don't want to display any text at all. I'm going to turn it back to yes, and I'm going to change the text into a place to call home. Don't forget to save your changes. Okay, now we'll refresh my page to see my new text. Here it is, a place to call home. Now, looking at this page, I'm noticing that this blue color in my logo doesn't really fit all that well with this green color here. So right now I'm going to show you how to change the color of your buttons, which is also the same color as labels. We are still in select options, except we're going to go to general. Scroll down to where it says first main color. Here you can select your own color or enter your color code. Okay, I think this color matches the color of my logo. I'm going to save changes. Back to the page, refresh. Okay, this is much better now. Moving on to our header. Now that I have changed the logo and the logo text, I want to show you some customization options for the header. Let's head back to our options and click on header. Okay, the first option we get here is to set the header type. Here we have two available header types, the standard and the minimal. The demo uses standard header, so I'm sticking with that one. And moving on to the menu area. In this section here, you have different customization options for your menu area. For example, you can put it in grid, you can change the background color and transparency, you can add a shadow, border, height, some side padding, and so on. After that, we have customization options for the sticky header, and we have options for the fixed header. Moving on, we have some main menu settings. But before we make any changes to this area here, I want to talk to you about the menu. To set the menu, we are going to leave the options for now and go to Appearance and click on Menus. As you can see to the left, we have different menu items that we can select and add to our menu, and to the right we have the menu structure. Right now our menu is called Main Menu, and as you can see it consists of Home, Pages, Listings, Blog, Shop elements. Here in the back end it looks like this. This is our structure. I'm not going to be using this menu. I want to make my own. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of deleting all of these individually, because there is really a lot of them, I'm just going to scroll down and delete this menu altogether and then create a new one. So click on Delete Menu and click on OK to confirm. And right now we are completely without a menu. To add a menu, first you need to give it a name. I'm going to call it My Menu and click on Create Menu. What I want to do now is set the display location. I'm going to check main navigation and mobile navigation to make sure that my menu gets displayed in all the right places. Now what I need to do next is add some menu items. Here under Pages, I'm going to click on View All. I'm going to select Main Home. I'm going to select About Us, Contact Us, and perhaps pricing packages. After checking these boxes, click on Add to Menu. And now, as you can see, our menu items have appeared in the menu. I'm going to save menu and refresh my page. As you can see, we now have Main Home, About Us, Contact Us, and Pricing Packages in the menu. But let's say I want the Contact Us page to be under About Us. So when you click on About Us, there is like a second level menu that opens up and it contains the Contact Us page. Go back to the menu settings. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this menu item right here slightly to the right. And now this is my sub item or my secondary menu item. I'm saving the menu and refreshing my page. See, now when you hover on About Us, the Contact Us page is displayed. Okay, moving on, the next thing in our header are these three things here: the shopping cart, the button for adding a listing, and the login button. These are actually added as widgets, so I'm going to explain that now. Back in our backend, still under Appearance, I'm going to click on Widgets. Here to the left, you have the list of all the available widgets that come with this theme. And to the right, we have the available widget areas. I'm going to minimize the sidebar here so everything is a bit clearer. And here we have the header widget menu area, which contains a select separator widget, which is this. We have the WooCommerce drop-down cart, the Add Property widget, and the Select Login widget. Now, I won't be selling anything on my website, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this WooCommerce drop-down cart widget. Click on the little arrow and simply click on Delete. I'm going to leave the Add Property widget, and I'm also going to leave the Select Login widget. But what I want to do is add some social icons to my header widget menu area. I'm going to look for the social icons widget, and I'm going to use this widget right here, Select Social Icons Group widget. Simply drag it and drop it where you want it to be, which is right here. I'm going to skip the title and the description. Here you can pick your icon pack. I'm going to leave it at Font Awesome, but I'm going to pick an icon first. This time it's going to be for Facebook. Here you will paste the link for your Facebook page. I'm going to enter hashtag. I'm going to pick another icon, for example, for Twitter. I'm doing the same thing for Instagram. Here it is. And I think that's it. You can add more icons and more links, of course. Don't forget to put the correct links for your social pages. Also, here you have the option of specifying the link target, whether you want it to be the same window or the new window. After you are done, click on Save, and then click on Done. Okay, I'm going to minimize this widget area and refresh my page. Okay, as you can see, we now have some social icons in our header. Moving on, we're going to go to the bottommost part of the page, which is the footer. Okay, so this is our footer. It contains the logo and some text, some contact information, and the newsletter subscription form, as well as the social icons. And right here at the bottom, it contains the copyright text. The first thing we notice here is that the logo that we uploaded didn't display here. But before I take care of that, I'm just going to show you where to set everything regarding your footer. Again, just like we did for the header, we are going to go to Select Options and click on Footer. Now would be the perfect time to explain the difference between the global settings and page settings. The settings that you make under Select Options or Global Options are going to apply throughout your website on all of your pages, whereas page settings only apply to that specific page. If you want to learn more about the difference between global and page settings, we recommend checking our video on the subject of global and page settings using the Bridge theme, but it all applies to all of Code's themes. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description. Okay, let's go back to our footer. Here you can set whether you want your footer to be in grid or not, and whether you want to show footer top and footer bottom. As you can see, by default, the footer is set to grid. I'm not going to change that. The footer top is enabled, and so is the footer bottom. In case you're not sure which part of the footer exactly is the top and which part is the bottom, I'm just going to turn the footer top off and save the changes. Now, when I refresh my page, you can see that everything that was above the copyright text, including the logo, the contact information, and the subscription form, has disappeared. So I'm going to go back and turn it on. And the footer bottom is pretty clear. That's the bottommost part where the copyright text is. What I want to show you now are the settings for the footer columns. Right now, they are set to 3 columns, but you have other options as well. Okay, as you can see, you can have from 1 to 4 footer top columns. Currently, it is set to 3, but you will notice that these 3 columns are not of the same size. And here is why. As you can see, the newsletter subscription form is rather long, which is why it is left to be bigger than these 2 columns. Now, if we go back and just set it to 3 and save changes, you will notice that my subscription form is now shorter and that it definitely looks better when it's a bit bigger than the first 2 columns. So I'm just going to set it back to the way it was. Here you can specify the alignment and change the background color. I'm not going to use that. As for the footer bottom, it has 3 columns and that's the maximum number. Now WordPress reminds me to always save my changes, so I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to head over to widgets to change the logo in my footer. Go to appearance, click on widgets. Okay, here I'm looking at several widget areas that belong to my footer. We have the footer top column 1, which contains image and text. The image is my logo and I'm going to replace it. I'm going to upload a new file. Click on Add to Widget and click on Save. I'm clicking on Done. And here I'm also going to change this text so it says, Welcome to Ado Agency. I'm clicking on Save and Done. While we're here, I'm going to show you the other widget areas available here. We have our contact. I'm going to change that too. I'm just going to put my email address, ado@ado.com. Of course, you should always put your full contact information here. Click on Save. And the footer top column 3 contains the contact form 7 widget, which is your subscription form, and select social icons group widget. Since I have already placed this widget in my header, I'm going to remove it because I don't need it in the header and the footer. Simply scroll down and click on delete. And that's it. And the footer top column 4 is empty, and if you want you can place something there, but in that case you will have to go back to the general settings and under footer settings enable the 4 columns for the footer. Right now we have enabled only 3 columns, which is why I can't really put anything here. Here we also have the widget areas for the footer bottom. The column 1 is empty. The column 2 contains the text, which is the copyright text right here. And the third column is also empty. Okay, that wraps it. When it comes to the footer, I'm just going to go and refresh my page and see what's next. Okay, scrolling up. It's now time to start customizing the contents of my page. The first thing that I want to change here is this image here. I'm heading over to the dashboard and I'm going to click on all pages and then navigate to my home page. Okay, the big picture that I want to change, this one here, is actually set as the background parallax image in row settings. So I'm clicking on this pencil here and I'm going to select settings. Here under select parallax background image, I can delete the image that was used in the demo and add my own. Just click on the plus sign and upload your own file from your computer. Okay, here is the image that I want to use. Click on open and then on set image. I don't want to touch any other settings here, so I'm just going to save changes and click on update. I'm refreshing my page and here it is, my new image. Okay, now I want to replace the signature here. Going back to the page, that signature is added as a single image, so to change it, click on this little pencil here and simply delete the existing one and add your own. Again, I'm going to upload a file from my computer. set image, save your changes, and update. Okay, let's see. Yes, I now have a darker signature here. Now the next thing I want to do here is change this text. In our backend, the text is set here under select custom font. Again, click on the little pencil. And here under title text, you can enter your own. I'm going to type your new dream home just a click away. Okay, here, because this is a very long line, I want to break it into two. So under position of line break, I'm going to write 4, which means that the line is going to break into two after the fourth word. In this case, it's home. Let's save changes and see if it works. I'm updating, refreshing. And yes, my line is now broken into two, and it fits much nicer than it would if it were just one long sentence. Okay, this next section here is the property search. But in order for it to work and in order for me to show you how it works and how to customize it, we need to add some properties of our own first. So I'm going back to my dashboard. I'm going to leave my page for now and I'm going to head over to select properties. Okay, so here as you can see, there are some of the properties that came with the demo. I'm going to leave them for now and I'm just going to walk you through these different features here. Okay, the first thing you see here is the property types section. I'm going to click on that. And here are some of the available property types that came with the demo. First, I'm going to show you how to add your own property type. It's very simple. Just type in a name. For instance, I'm going to type in beach house and I'm going to assign it an icon. I'm going to use linear icons and I'm going to use, for instance, diamond. It doesn't matter, it's just for the sake of making the example anyway. So I'm going to click on add new property type. Okay, so as you can see, my new property type is right here. The slug is generated automatically and the count says 0 because I haven't actually made any properties that fall into this specific property type. What I'm going to do now is go back to my page and refresh. And sure enough, beach house now appears in the property search. I'm just going to go back and delete it because I won't be actually using it. Just check it and under bulk actions, pick delete and click on apply. Okay, what I want to do next is change the images for all these apartment types because see when we scroll down the page, our property types are listed in this here slider and I want to replace all of these images with my own. So let's start with the apartment. Okay, here under featured image, I'm going to remove the existing one and add my own. I'm going to upload it from my computer. This is the image that I want to use. Just click on insert into post and update. So let's go back to the page now, refresh, and see the apartment property type now has the new image. I'm going to go back and change images for the rest of my property types. Okay, so I have now replaced the images for all of these apartment types and I'm just going to refresh my page. And yes, my beautiful new images are right here. Okay, I'm going to go back. After property types, it is now time to set the property features. In order to show you what we mean by property features, I'm going to go back to my page and click on one of these singles. This is what a property single looks like right now. And here are the features. As you can see, the highlighted ones, the darker ones, are the features that are available with a certain property. I'm going to go back. And those are set right here. This is the list of all the available features. You can delete the ones that you don't intend on using. For example, I'm going to delete hangers. Instead of checking this box and then choosing delete under bulk actions, I can simply hover over the item that I want to delete and click on delete. It's going to ask me whether I'm sure or not. Yes, okay. Okay, and to add a new property feature, it's pretty simple. Just type in the name. For instance, I'm going to type in smoke detector and I'm going to click on add new property feature. And that's it. My brand new feature is right here. Okay, let's go and check where our new feature appears. I'm going to select a random property and scroll down to features. And here it is, smoke detector. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have property statuses. The statuses that came with the demo include for rent, for sale, and just sold. You can add your own property status if you want, for example, lease or whatever other property status you need, or delete the ones that you don't want. I'm going to keep these three and move on to property counties and states. It's pretty clear that here you can specify the countries where you have properties as well as states. Just type in the name here, the slug will be generated automatically and specify the country and then click on add new property county or state. Let's move on to cities. Okay, so here we have a couple of cities that are listed in our demo. I'm going to go to my page to show you where the cities appear. Okay, as you can see, they're right here. For example, if you're looking for an apartment in Amsterdam, you're going to click here. For London, you're going to click here, and so on. The number in the bracket indicates how many properties are listed for that particular city. So what I'm going to do now is go back and change the photos for the cities, the images. And then I'm going to delete Lucerne because I don't want to have any properties listed there. And I'm going to add a city of my own. So let's go back to our backend. Okay, so first I'm deleting Lucerne. Just hover and click on delete. Okay. Now I'm going to click on Amsterdam in order to change the image for this city. You can either click on remove image and then add a new one, or click on add image and the new image will replace the old one. I'm going to upload a file from my computer, select files. Okay, so here is my image. Once it uploads, just click on insert into post and click on update. I'm going to do the same for all the other cities. Okay, I have changed the images, so let's go back to our main page and see if they uploaded correctly. Okay, here they are. In this slider, our brand new city images. I'm going to go back and add a new property city of my own. I'm going to type in Nice, specify the state, of course it's France, and add my featured image. Now note that these images that you are uploading for property cities that are going to be displayed in the property city slider are supposed to be nearly square in their proportions. For example, this image is 420 by 422 pixels. So they're almost perfectly square, and that's why they fit so well in the slider. Click on insert into post and finally click on add new property city. Let's go back to our page and refresh and check the slider. Here it is, my new city. Okay, moving on. Next, we have property neighborhoods. This one is pretty self-explanatory. If you have particular neighborhoods within a city, you can type in the name here and here set the city that the neighborhood belongs to. For example, we can add Queens and then assign it to New York. Simply click on add new property neighborhood and that's it. And finally, we have property tags. Their purpose is to make it easier for your clients to search for the perfect property for their needs. Here you can delete the ones that you don't want to use. For example, I'm going to delete handmade and add as many tags as you want. For instance, I'm going to add a tag that says urgent. Simply click on add new property tag and that's it. Okay, so now that we have set our property types, features, statuses, states, cities, and everything else, it's time to add our first property. I'm going to click on Add New. Okay, so this is the backend for our property single, which is a single page dedicated to your property. Note that the property will also be displayed throughout your main page, for example, here in the list, or it can be a featured property. Okay, the first thing to do is to add a title. I'm going to use the address as a title. I'm typing in 33 Gladys Road. And just to be safe, I'm going to hit publish immediately. Remember to click on update after every single change you make, because otherwise you risk of losing some important changes and then having to go back. Okay, to the right, you can specify the type, the features, statuses, and so on. Let's start with the property type. This particular property is an apartment, so I'm checking that. You also have a list of your most used property types, and here you can quickly add a brand new property type without having to go to the property types section. Next, we are going to assign some features for our property. For example, my property has air conditioning, dryer, laundry, microwave, refrigerator, smoke detector, TV and cable, washer, window coverings, and wireless internet. Again, here you quickly add a brand new property feature if you want. Here you can set a status. This property is for rent. It is located in England, specifically in London. Here we can specify the neighborhood in London, which I'm not going to do, and I'm going to add a tag that says urgent. Here I also want to set the featured image for my property. I am uploading a file from my computer. Now click on Set Featured Image, and I'm going to go back and update before I proceed. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, skip all these because I want to leave them as they are. I'm going to skip general settings as well. Note that here you can choose the property layout and choose whether you want to show title area or not on the single property page. I'm going to skip those as well. I'm going to assign a property ID, which can be a number or a combination of a number and a letter, whatever system you're using. I'm just going to type in 33G. Okay, set the price. Just type in the number. For instance, if it's $1,000, just type in 1,000. And then here under price label, you can set it to dollar or euro or pound or anything else that you want. Here you can also set your discount price, which I'm not going to do. Moving on. Specify the price label position, whether the dollar sign is going to be before or after the number. I'm leaving it at default. Now here you can enter the property size. This property has 100 square meters. The number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, floor. Let's say it's second floor out of a total of 5 floors. Year built is 1953. It uses central heating, so I'm typing in central. And here under accommodation, you can specify whether it is empty or furnished. In my case, it is furnished. Under additional specification, you can specify the ceiling height, whether there is parking or not, whether it is on premises, free or zoned or whatever. Distance from the center, area size, garages, the size of the garages, and additional space. For example, under additional space, I'm going to type in basement. Under publication date, I'm just going to choose today. And here you can set whether it's going to be a featured property or not. I'm going to leave that as it is. This brings us to the leasing terms. Before we proceed, I'm just going to scroll up and click on update just in case. And here on my website, I'm going to click on a property. Okay, so these are our specifications, not for this particular property, but that's what they're going to look like eventually when we publish it. And these are the leasing terms. So you can specify the deposit, the payment period, allowed pets, minimum lease term, whether it is habitable and when, and so on. So I'm going back to set these. Okay, first you need to click on Add New Item and then pick the icon, for example, deposit. Specify the label, it also says deposit. And here you can enter the value of the required deposit. Let's set it to 500. Click on Add New Item. Here I'm going to set the payment period. You have to type it in, payment period. And let's say monthly. Add another item for the minimum lease term. And let's say 6 months. Okay, I'm also going to add the leasing term regarding pets. Here you can either just type in yes or no, or you can specify what kind of pets are allowed. For example, aquarium pets are allowed, which means that no dogs or cats are allowed. I'm just going to type in no. Okay, here under costs, you do the same thing. You click on add new item, then pick the icon, cable TV, add a label, specify the value, let's say 50. Again, add new item. I'm going to pick heating. The heating costs 100. And electricity. Let's set it to 80. Okay, moving on. In this next section, you get to specify the address for your property, and it will automatically be displayed as a Google map, as a pin on the Google map, provided you have entered a valid address. However, in order to display the map and the pin, you will need a Google Maps API key. Now, to add a key, we need to go to select options, but before that, I'm going to quickly update my page so my changes don't get lost. Now I'm going to go to select options, and here under general options, I'm going to scroll all the way down, and you will enter your Google Maps API key here. Now, if you're not sure how to get your Google Maps API key, we have a video on that particular subject, and the link to the video is in the description below, so make sure to check it out. We also have links to some very useful articles in our help center, so check those out too. Okay, after you have entered your Google Maps API key, click on Save Changes, and I'm just going to go back to my property. Here it is. The newest property will always be listed on top. Okay, we are right here. So basically you just start typing in the address. Okay, here it is. Mine is in London, so I'm just clicking on that. And there it is. A pin is automatically generated in Google Maps. Considering we have added a full address, we now have the map for the location. We also have the latitude and the longitude. And here you can simply type in the simple address. For example, 33 Gladys Road, London. Zip code, I'm going to leave that blank, and here I'm going to set it to United Kingdom. Okay, let's go back to our property and see what it looks like with the changes that we made so far. I'm clicking on update. Okay, so here is my property single page. As you can see, there is the price, there's the label that says for rent, and all the information that we put under specification, leasing terms, and so on. Here is the location. Here is the Google map with addresses and everything else. So let's go back and finish working on this property single. Our next stop is the gallery. We have added the featured image, but I want to add additional images for this property because it's always a good idea to add as many images representing your apartment or your house as possible so that your clients have a very good idea of what it looks like. I'm clicking on upload. Okay, so I have prepared some images that I want to add to my gallery. Okay, so here are the images that I want to use. Once they are uploaded, simply click on Add to Gallery. And here it is, the gallery for your property single. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this featured image here because I don't need it in my gallery. And I am updating the gallery. Okay, so these are my gallery images. I'm going to scroll up and update my page and refresh it over here to see the gallery. Okay, here it is. It looks very nice. Going back and scrolling down. Okay, so next up in this media section is video. Video is a very popular thing to add to real estate websites these days, and for a good reason, because a video always gives you a better idea of a house or an apartment. It gives you a feel much more so than the images. Here you can choose the video type. It can be a video service, which basically means YouTube or Vimeo, or it can be a self-hosted video. Assuming you're probably going to use Vimeo or YouTube, you just need to copy and then paste your video URL here, and that's it. Another popular feature in the real estate business these days is the virtual tour. If you have the code, you can input it here. And finally, here under attachment, you can attach any documents that you want to make available with this property listing. Moving on, here you have the options to add sub-properties or multi-units, and to add a home plan, which is always a good idea if you have one. And now we have contact information. Here you can specify the contact info to display or choose the information that will be displayed, whether it's going to be agency information, agent info, or owner info. And this brings us to the user roles. Before we proceed, I'm just going to update. And I'm going to navigate to users here in the menu and click on all users. Here you can add a new user and assign it a role. The available roles include the roles that are default for WordPress. These are administrator, editor, author, contributor, and subscriber. Here we also have agency, agent, and owner buyer, which are user roles that are specific for this theme. And we also have a couple of WooCommerce user roles, which are customer and shop manager. Okay, now we saw how you can add a user and assign a role. With real estate websites, you may want to allow users to register by themselves so they can add properties and participate in your website. But we have to enable this. So we're going to head over to settings and click on general. Here you will want to check this box that says anyone can register. And here below, under new user default role, you can specify the role that you want to be the default role for the newly registered users. Don't forget to save your changes. Another option you have here is to allow the users to pick the role upon registration. For this, we're going to head over to select options and click here where it says real estate. Okay, as you can see here, you have the option of enabling the registration role, which will allow users to choose their own role upon registration. And you also have the possibility of enabling and disabling different roles. This depends entirely on you. I'm going to leave these as they are. And note that here you also have the possibility of allowing or disallowing the users to publish their own properties. Note that if we click on a no, then a user will be able to add a property, but the property will not be published until it passes a review by the administrator. Okay, I'm going to save changes and let's go back to my property. I just want to make sure everything is fine back here before we proceed. Okay, I'm just going to set contact info to agency. And here you can choose the agency to be displayed. It can be the default one. If you add multiple agencies, they will be listed here. And this brings us to some general options that we are going to skip because we like our page as it is, as it came with the demo. Okay, moving up and clicking on update, and that's it. I'm now going to go and create another property. Again, I'm clicking on add new. I'm typing in the title. Okay, so I have now created some 7 properties of my own, and I'm going to go ahead and delete the properties that came with the demo. Just check the properties that you don't need. Under bulk actions, select move to trash and click on apply. Okay, so now the only properties left on our website are the ones that we have created. So let's go back and check out our front page. Okay, as you can see, this list doesn't look quite right. It is set for 6 properties and instead it only displays 4. Now remember in the beginning of our tutorial how I said that the list is set to display all property types and only the apartment types had images in portrait view. So what we're going to do now is go back and set it back to display all property types, not just the apartments. So I'm heading back to my backend and I'm going to my page. Okay, click on your main home. Now in your WP Bakery page builder, you're going to look for the select property list. Here it is. This is the shortcode. Click on the little pencil like we did before. Scroll down and under property type, just select this blank space. Click on Save Changes and update your page. Let's go and refresh our main home. And yes, everything is displayed properly in our list. Moving on, this following section comprises of some text and an image that you can use for whatever purpose you want. You can post an image that you like the best about your properties, and you can add whatever text you really need. So let's go back to the back end of our page. As you can see, this section here comprises of two parts. Here to the left, we have a text block. We have some empty space that is added to even things out and balance them out. And here we have some more text added as text block. Again, some empty space and a single image, which is the signature beneath the text. And here it appears that we don't have anything, but in fact, we do have this element here in the elements holder. And we have this background image on the elements holder item right here, which we are going to change. So that's what I'm going to do first. You can either click on this X sign to delete the background image, or you can just click on the plus sign and the new picture will replace the old one. I'm uploading from my computer. Okay, so this is the image that I want to use. After it is uploaded, click on Set Image. And our new image is set as background image for the elements holder item. Click on Save Changes. And now let's go back and change the text. Click on the little pencil for the text block. I'm going to type in brand new residential complex. I'm not going to change any settings here regarding the font size or style. I'm just going to save changes. Now click on the pencil in this next text block to add these bullets. You can add them as bullets or add them as plain text. It's up to you. I'm just going to type in eco-friendly. Here it's going to say rooftop garden. The third bullet is going to say janitor, laundry room, and camera protected. I'm saving my changes. Okay, I am now updating my page. And let's refresh and check it out. Okay, here it is, the section with my new settings. Moving on, the next section on our home page is this section here that actually comprises of testimonials with a title. So let's go back to our backend and see how to edit this particular section. Okay, first we have the select section title shortcode, which is how the text is added. You can change that if you want. The label, which is the smaller text, can say search places. I'm going to say search properties just for sake of making a change. And here the title says people's experiences. I'm going to change it to what our clients say. I'm going to save changes and update. Okay, let's scroll down. Right below our select section title is the shortcode called Select Testimonials. We're going to click on the little pencil to open the settings. Okay, so as you can see, there is not much that you can actually change here or add here, and that is because the testimonials are actually added right here under Select Testimonials. Right now we have the testimonials that came with the demo, but I'm going to go and create some testimonials of my own just to show you how it's done. So I'm going to close this shortcode, update my page once again just to be sure, and head over to Select Testimonials. Okay, so as you can see, the testimonials that are listed on our page are right here. Testimonial 1. It has some text, the name of the author, the position of the author and the image. And this is the first testimonial right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one. First, I'm going to change the text. Okay, I will type in, "Thank you, Ado Agency. I have only the best things to say about your agents who have been so professional and reliable and helped me find a home in no time." Okay, I'm going to change the name of the author. I'm going to type in Jenny Holmes, who is a lawyer, and I'm going to change the featured image. And click on Update. Okay, I'm going to go to my page to show you my new testimonial. And here she is, Jenny Holmes, lawyer, and what she had to say about our agency. You can go ahead and change the rest of the testimonials yourself. Just note that here under all testimonials categories, it is currently set to Home 1. You can assign your own category. For instance, if you have a lot of testimonials and you want to classify them in some way, categories are important because you use them in the shortcode to specify which exact testimonials you want to display. So let's go back to our page now and see what it looks like. Okay, so here under the category, you specify the category that you assigned to the testimonial that you want to display. Okay, I'm closing and moving on. Okay, next up is the city slider, which we already discussed when we changed the images. As you can see, they change a little bit zoom upon hover. Clicking on a city will take us to a page where all the properties for that city are listed, and it looks like this. Here, the clients can specify the price range for the property. They can specify the features that they're looking for, filter the results, save their search, and so on. We're going to go back, and I'm just going to go back to the backend to show you the shortcode. Here it is, the Select Property City slider. You can specify the number of columns, which I'm going to leave at default. You can specify whether you want to have some empty space between cities or not, and if yes, whether it's going to be tiny or large or anything in between. And you can show only cities with specific listed slugs. And here under slider settings, you can enable or disable the loop, autoplay. Both are set to yes, which means that the slider is just going to keep on going. You can specify the slide animation duration, whether it's going to have navigation arrows or not, and enable or disable pagination. Once again, I'm going to leave all these settings as they already are because I think that design is perfect just the way it is. Moving on. Okay, so this next section here comprises of these icons for different property types. Let's head back. It comprises of a text block, which we're going to edit so that it says find new home. I'm going to save changes. And now we're going to look into the select property type list shortcode. Okay, so as you can see here, it lists all the property types that are available right now. If you want to add a type of your own, you can just start typing. We don't have any additional types, so I'm going to leave it at that. You can also change the skin. Again, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm clicking on update because I have changed the text. And now on our front page, which I'm going to refresh, we can try and click on one of these and see where it takes us. Okay, so it takes us to a page where all the property types that belong to the apartment property types are listed. And here they are. I'm going back. Our next section is the featured property. It is the property that you want to highlight. It can be your most popular, your most viewed, or just about any property that you want to highlight and set as featured. Let's go back to the backend. Scroll down. And here it is. This section actually comprises of a short code called select section title, some empty space, and select property single. Okay, let's start with the section title. It basically allows you to set the title for this section. I'm going to leave it at featured. You can change it to anything you want. You can say our best property or featured property or something else. And you can also add some text below the title, which I'm not going to do. And here under title style, you can customize the appearance of your title, set the title tag, color, and so on. I'm leaving this as it is. And let's take a look at the select property single. The way this shortcode works, it basically takes the ID of the property that you want to display. The only thing you actually have to do here is to specify the property that you want to feature or highlight. I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to start typing the title of the property that I want to highlight, which is my place in Nice at 2 Rue Eden. Here it is. Just click on Save Changes and Update. Okay, I'm going to refresh my home page. Okay, so the shortcode now displays the apartment that I wanted it to display, but as you can see, these images are a bit off. And to fix this, I'm going to head back to the back end of this property single. So let's go to Select Properties. Here it is. What I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down to where the gallery is. I'm going to click on Upload, and I'm going to click on Reverse Order here so that the images switch places. I'm updating the gallery, and I'm updating this property single. Okay, let's refresh our page now and see if that fixed the problem. Sure enough, here it is, just the way I wanted it to be and the way that it is on the demo. Now, just below this featured section, we see a marquee that currently says Apartments from Heaven. And I'm going to go to the shortcode for this and change the text. I'm going to go to my page. And I'm scrolling down to find the marquee. Here it is, select text marquee. Click on the little pencil. And here you can input your own text. I'm going to have it say there's no place like home. Here you have some additional settings. You can change the text color, the font size, height, font weight, font style, spacing, and so on. I'm going to leave it as it is, so I'm just going to save the changes, update my page, and here I'm going to refresh to see my new text. Here it is. Now it says there's no place like home. Our next section here is this process. It is a way of displaying your workflow process, the way you work, or the process for your clients from the beginning to finding the place that works for them. So I'm going to go back and change things a bit here too. This section is made using the Select Process shortcode, inside which we add Select Process items. So if you want to change the images or the text for each of these items here, you are going to customize the items themselves, not the Select Process shortcode. So just click on the little pencil. Okay, so right now I only want to change the image and the title, so I'm adding an image of my own. Set image. And here where it says choose a category, I'm going to have it say select a type and click on Save Changes. Moving on to the next item. I'm saving my changes and updating my page. Let's go to our home and see what it looks like. Perfect. Now I have my own process with my own images, my own titles. Obviously, you will replace this text here with a text of your own. We're not going to do that right now. So we're moving on to this next section, which is actually a combination of single image and a section title with a button. So let's go back and see what it looks like and change your image. Okay, so to change the image, click on this little pencil right here and simply add your own. I have prepared an image that fits this section well. set image, and save changes. And here under select section title, you can change the label. The label is this smaller text here, smaller font that says search places, and the title is people's experiences. There is some text here and the button. So changing the label and title text is pretty self-explanatory, as well as the text, of course, so I'm not going to do that right now. And instead, I want to show you how to change the text of the button. If you want to add your own custom text, just click on the little pencil here where it says select button. And here you can specify the type, which can be solid, outline, or simple. Size, which is currently set to default, and I'm going to leave it at that. And here is the text. I'm going to delete this and type find the property. Here you can enter the link where you want your button to lead, and you can specify whether you want it to open in the same or the new window. So I'm going to save changes and update. I'm refreshing my page once again. And yes, my button now says find the property. The next section is the property type slider, which we discussed earlier. Like we said, clicking on any of these will take you to a page where all the property of that type is listed. I'm going to go back. And here underneath, we have something called Client Carousel. Going back to the back end of our page and scrolling all the way down. Here it is. The Client Carousel items are located inside the Client Carousel shortcode, similarly to the process items that we discussed just earlier. So here you can customize these items by adding your own images. I'm going to go back to my page and show you something. When the user hovers above one of these images, it turns lighter. So here you can upload a regular image and you can upload a lighter image into which the image will turn when hovered upon. So here, if you have some clients that you want to display, you're going to upload and display their logos. So I'm going to leave this for now. I'm just going to show you one thing here. Here in the Select Clients Carousel settings, you can set the number of visible items, which is currently set to 7. We can set it to 4, for example. You can enable or disable the slider loop and autoplay, the duration, navigational arrows, and so on. And here, the last setting that you can make is you can specify the type of animation upon hover. Right now, it switches images from a regular to a lighter one. The other option is rollover. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to save changes and update. Let's check it out on our page. Okay, so now we have 4 clients, and upon hover, they roll into a different image, the lighter one. And that wraps it up. I now have my own real estate website created using the AIDO real estate theme. We hope this tutorial was useful. Remember to check the description of the video for links to the videos and articles that we mentioned and that could be of further assistance. For any questions or comments, feel free to drop us a line in the comment section. And don't forget to sign up for our channel for more tutorials and guides. Thank you for watching.